I didn't dare ask him if there'd be any scars. I don't think I could face that. What happened was my fault.
It was an accident.
I tried to reach out.
I don't want to hear you talk about that terrible night or even think about it.
It's all I've been thinking about for the past few months. The pain, the terrible suffering.
That will all be over soon.
Perhaps. There's one more operation. And then, after all these months of waiting, it'll be over. The vocal cords.
Were crushed during the fall.
Bruises on the neck.
The body fell onto jagged rocks. Naturally, there were bad bruises. You must put these dreadful memories out of your mind once and for all.
How can I? Dear God, how can I forget that I destroyed another human being?
We have to make certain the police never find out about what happened that night.
How can we keep the truth from them?
We'll have to find a way.
Charges are brought against me.
I won't let that happen.
I could face years in prison.
I promise you. I will never let the authorities take you.
Better go back downstairs. I don't want Nola wondering what happened to us.
Oh, now, Mrs. O'Brien.
Now, don't try to sweet-talk yourself after this, Mrs. Reardon.
Well, you've been with us for 10 years.
Oh, 10 quiet, happy years until now.
Floyd was just playing his guitar, Mrs. O'Brien.
Oh, and he sang.
What? Very quietly. Ma, would you tell Mrs. O'Brien that people pay good money to hear Floyd
No,
playing?
I'm not getting mixed up.
It was 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's usually when Floyd gets off from Wired for Sound. He's used to being up that late.
I'm not used to being up so late. I'm too old for this kind of nonsense.
Oh, you're not too old, Mrs. O'Brien. I always thought you were kind of cute.
Oh. Listen to himself. He sounds like my dear departed. Always full of it he was.
I'm sincere, Mrs. O'Brien.
And I'm moving. Now. I don't want no more of this kind of fast business.
Well, you, want me and Floyd to move, Ma?
Oh, honey. You can't do that. You already gave up your apartment, Tony. Neither one of you have a job.
Floyd will have a job soon, and so will I. And then you can let the old battle axe move out of here, because we won't need her anymore.
Stop. She's a nice woman.
She's a pain, Ma.
Boy, you're a lucky boy. You know what? Don't like that kind of talk.
I didn't say nothing.
You didn't say anything. You know I've talked 7th Street your whole life.
I like 7th Street. I'll talk 7th Street the rest of my
You
life.
like to talk like
as long as I want. Hello?
Tony, is that you?
Yeah, who'd you think it was?
Okay, now listen, something terrible has happened. Oh, listen, well, thanks for calling a lot. It's nice talking to you.
What are you talking about? I didn't call you.
I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hi, you scared me.
Are you all right?
Mark, it was awful.
Oh, everything's all right. You heard the storm when you're sleeping. You were having a nightmare.
They were trying to evacuate the rigs out of the channel. They couldn't land the helicopters because of the storm, so they had to turn back. The men kept trying to hold on, but the rigs broke loose from the flooring.
Okay, it's okay. It's nothing but a bad dream. It's all right. Hello. Yeah, this is Mark Evans. Oh, my God, no. Yeah, we'll be there as fast as we can. I'm afraid your nightmare's turning into a reality.
now, the award-winning Guiding Light.
Oh, I'm sorry if I startled you, Nola.
No, that's okay. I was just talking to my brother.
Yes, I heard you mention his name when I came in.
I was just telling him that something terrible happened.
What do you mean?
About the tape, I mean, the destroying, you know, how I ruined your tape. Beethoven's.
Oh, yes. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
The fifth, yes. Well, I told you I was going to the music store in the morning and that I would find out whether or not that tape was defective.
I told you I'd get you one.
Oh, what's wrong?
Nothing's wrong.
Why are you so nervous?
I'm not nervous.
Nola, here, sit down. Now, Nola, aren't you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
I wish I could tell you how happy I am now that you've moved in and brought the baby. I wish I could tell you how I feel about you.
I wish you could, too.
Oh, Nola. I can't. I can't. There are too many things in my past, terrible things, things that would separate us, tear us apart.
I'll keep your secrets.
What secrets?
I mean, if you had any secrets, I'd keep them. I'd be just like Mata Hari. I'd keep my mouth shut before the firing squad.
Oh, look, what does Mata Hari have to do with you?
Oh, nothing. She was just a famous spy, and they made a lot of movies about her.
Well, I'm afraid I'm not following you. I think you're living too much in your imagination, which isn't healthy for any of us. Now, the past is dead and gone and should remain so. Excuse me. Hello? Yes, this is Quentin McCord. Well, of course, if you insist that it's important, I'll see you here at the house in an hour. Right. Thank you. Now, where were we?
That people from the past are dead and gone, and not to worry about them.
Is that what I said?
Well, no. Actually, we were talking about movies, and... You know, sometimes in movies, well, somebody does something, you know, and it... But they, you know, it just seems like they did it. They really didn't do it. Oh, gosh. Sometimes in movies, the hero and the lady, they end up together at the end. Happy ending.
I really wish that life were like that, Nola.
Yeah, but it can be. I mean, if you have hope.
Oh, my dearest Nola, you are so sweet and so dear to me. You've helped erase all those dark thoughts out of my mind, and you make me feel and think about a future with you and the baby.
What kind of future?
You rang, Mr. McCord?
Yes, Mrs. Renfield, I did. We'll be having a guest in about an hour. Alert Fritz that Mr. Chamberlain's car will be arriving at the front gate, and make sure that the dogs are on the leash.
Henry Chamberlain in this house?
Yes. Nola, why don't you go upstairs and check on the baby, and we'll continue this discussion after Mr. Chamberlain leaves.
Do you think it wise that Henry Chamberlain comes here?
I had no alternative. He said there was some kind of an emergency with Spaulding Enterprises.
I don't like the two of you being together this way.
I'll be very careful in what I say.
It frightens me the way our past is coming back to haunt us.
We aren't going to let anything or anyone stand in the way of what we must do.
Up to your old tricks, I see.
Helena.
Spying on Mr. McCord?
No, I wasn't. I was just going in to ask him if he wanted tea for his guest.
What guest?
Henry Chamberlain. There you go.
Delicious dinner. You outdid yourself.
Oh, thank you. A woman likes a man who likes her cooking.
Well, you know the old cliche about the way to a man's heart.
Yes, I know. I found that out with several of my boarders.
I'll bet you had to fight them off.
In droves. Listen, I've been thinking about what we were talking about, you know, about my selling you my shares in Spaulding Enterprises.
Oh, well, B, that may not be necessary.
Oh? How come?
Well, I have an important meeting with Quentin McCord, who's one of our major stockholders. I may be able to get control of the company and see that it stays rock solid.
Amanda, if any of those men die, it'll be my fault.
Hear you talk about any of those men dying.
I should never have listened to Henry when he said to go ahead with the drilling, no matter what the weather.
Amanda, it was a corporate decision. We are all to blame.
I could see those men's faces in my dreams so clearly.
Those rigs are built to withstand storms.
A force 10 gale?
Are you about ready? It is going to be a dangerous drive to the coast.
I'd go out of my mind with worry if I had to stay here alone in this storm. Besides, no matter what happens, we're in this together, remember?
I like the sound of that. Two of us together no matter what happens.
I'm really glad you're here. I would not want to stand up to this by myself.
If things get bad, there are going to be police inquiries, investigations. I want you to let me do the talking, all right?
I'm not going to let you take the blame for this.
I am not going to let you get near this. Please trust me.
With my life.
You're looking pretty nice tonight.
Oh, thanks.
Going out with Ed?
Yeah, he's coming over and we're going to make plans for Justin Marley's birthday party.
Everybody's making such a big deal out of that. Don't see why.
Well, yeah, we are, because we want to try and take his mind off what happened with Jackie.
Yeah, easier said than done, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Boy, what it must be like to lose someone you love like that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, is Nola called?
No, not that I know of. Why?
I don't know, sometimes I worry about her being out at McCord's.
Well, I thought you liked him.
Yeah, him, I like. The place, I don't. He's got those guard dogs running around. He's got armed guards around the house.
Hey, thank God it does until they find Silas Crocker.
Yeah, I suppose, but, I'm not gonna wait. It's kind of funny, but, ever since I rescued Noel, I feel responsible for her safety or something.
Hello?
No, hey, how you doing?
Oh, hi, Tony. It's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, listen, what happened earlier, you know, when you called here around dinner time?
Oh, nothing. It was just my imagination, that's all. You know, I think I've seen too many old movies.
You sure you're all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. How's, Mom and Maureen?
Don't worry, everybody here is fine.
Well, did you get a job yet?
No, any day now, though.
Well, listen, if you need some money or, you know, anything.
What do you think, I'm gonna rob my baby sister? You and the baby, speaking of baby, you and the baby need that money. How's she doing?
She's fine. She's sleeping.
Well, take care of yourself.
Okay, listen, Tony.
Yeah?
If anything happens to me, I want Mom to raise the baby.
Wait, you trying to scare me or what?
No, it's just I came close to dying once before, and I just think about it, that's all.
Are you sure you're safe out there?
Well, sure I am as safe as any other place.
Well, take care of yourself. Look, I'll tell Mom that I talked to you.
All righty, good luck in finding a job.
Thanks. Bye.
Is she okay?
Yeah, I guess so. She just spooked by that big old house, you know?
Well, who wouldn't be? You take a big, creepy house like that, you mix in a little of Nola's wild imagination and her total recall for every old horror movie ever made, and what do you get?
A murder mystery.
You can take your break now. I'm here to relieve you.
Thank you, Mrs. Redfield.
How is our patient this evening?
Heavily sedated and asleep for the night.
Thank you. I feel sorry for you, but I cannot let anything happen to Mr. McCord. It would have been better if you had died when you fell off that cliff.
Come in. Oh, Helena, it's you.
You were expecting someone else?
As a matter of fact, I am. I'm going to have a business meeting in here, and I'd like you to go to your room for about an hour or so.
While you talk to Henry Chamberlain?
Were we eavesdropping again, dear Helena?
No, I wasn't. But your dear sweet Nola was.
I don't believe you. You know, Helena, there's nothing you could say or do that would poison my mind against Nola, so why don't you stop trying?
What fools men can be when they think they're in love.
Yes, we can be. What a fool I must have been when I thought I was in love with you.
You were in love with me.
Seems like a lifetime ago.
How many lifetimes have you had, Quentin? How many women have you loved?
You know I don't talk about the women in my past.
Why is that? Too many things to hide?
There are things that I would like to forget, Helena, but you have a knack of bringing them up again.
Of course. Because I was on the beach that night, my dear Quentin, which sort of gives me a nice insurance policy, doesn't it?
An insurance policy?
Yes, a guarantee that I won't fall off a cliff one day and hurt myself.
What a night for a flat tire.
Did you fix it?
No, the side of the road is turning into a mudslide.
What are we gonna do?
Well, I'm gonna rest for a while, and then I'll drive the car back onto some firmer ground so that we'll get a solid footing for the
Wait
jet.
a minute, Mark. That's dangerous.
No,
Nobody will
it's all right,
see you
it's
out
all
on the
right.
road.
I'll put out some flares.
In this weather, no one will see flares.
They'll see our taillights.
Be careful, please.
There we go. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. You gotta stop worrying about me.
I kind of like worrying about you. Right now, it's as though we're the only two people left on this earth.
It's the storm.
Is that it? I'm sorry. I haven't forgotten our pact. I'm trying very hard to keep my promise to you, Amanda, but there are times like this when it's...
I know. It's not easy for me either.
It helps to talk about it. At least it helps me. I hope you're over those terrible feelings of guilt.
I am. I realize now that there was absolutely nothing in this world that would have changed my feelings for you. But at least we both have our emotions under control now, and it won't happen again.
I've accepted that, too.
You've changed this past week.
Perhaps I have.
The night we went out dancing,
That was a very special night. That night I took a woman out that I loved. And I didn't worry about anybody seeing us.
I know. It was as if Springfield didn't even exist. But it does. And one day soon we're going to have to go back.
Amanda, promise me something.
If I can.
Before we do go back to Springfield, let's forget about the lives and the people we left behind. Let's just be ourselves. And let's feel emotions we never dared feel before. Once in a while, let me tell you how much I love you. More than any man has ever loved a woman. Promise me that we'll be as close as we can be. I want you to feel my love and support, so that you can face what you have to face tonight.
You haven't told me everything, have you?
I didn't.
I want to know, Mark.
We have lost several men off the ranks.
How many?
More than 50.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We've got to get down to that beach right now.
I'm rested now. I'll drive us back on the pavement.
Wait a minute, Mark. I want you to know that I feel I can get through tonight with you at my side. And I've never felt this way about a man ever in my life.
I've never felt this way about a woman.
It's as if we were meant to be together for the rest of our lives.
We are meant to be together for the rest of our lives. God forgive me for saying it.
Oh, Mr. McCord. Mr. Chamberlain is here.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Renfield. Mr. Chamberlain.
Oh.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Mr. McCord.
I can bring in tea if you wish.
Or perhaps a spot of brandy?
No, thanks. Tea would be fine, thank you.
Well, now, Mr. Chamberlain, sir, what can I do for you?
Well, you can start by calling me Henry.
All right, Henry. Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Would you enjoy a cigar?
Oh, I should enjoy it greatly, but unfortunately, I have a slight heart condition. I've had to give up smoking.
Sorry to hear that. About your heart condition, I mean.
Well, it's one of the things I've had to learn as I grow older. You give up life's little pleasures one by one, because you have to. But there's one pleasure that has never gone stale for me.
A spot of good brandy after dinner?
No, maybe for some people. No, it is fighting the battles that you're born to fight, that are your destiny, if you want. Your quest in life, if you like the word.
Quest. Strange that you should use that word, quest. I remember being told as a small child that my quest, my destiny in life, was to search the earth for historical treasures that might be lost to the world, to find and dig up artifacts and restore them to national museums, you see. Is the tea ready, Mrs. Renfield?
Oh, yes. I hope I'm not intruding.
Oh, not at all.
Sugar, Mr. Chamberlain?
Yes, 2, please.
Would you care for milk or lemon?
Milk, please. Ms. Renfield, do you mind my saying how much I enjoy hearing you speak? I spent some time in your lovely English countryside.
Oh, really?
Yes, they're some of the happiest memories of my life.
I have fond memories of England, too.
You have?
Yes, I spent several years studying in England.
Oh.
Would you care for some tea, Mr. McCord?
No, thank you, Mrs. Renfield. That'll be all, I think.
You went to school in England?
Yes, sir. I studied at Oxford. Mrs. Renfield, you may retire. I know that you're a very early riser.
Oh. Good night, Mr. Chamberlain.
Good night, Miss Renfield. Interesting woman.
Oh, yes, she is.
Has she been with you long?
Several years.
I see. Well, now, let me get back to the reason for my being here. I have a fight on my hands, and I'd like you to help me.
Well, I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, Spaulding is in trouble, and you own a large block of Spaulding stock.
Yes, I do.
Well, I am planning to, well, a stockholder's takeover of the company in an effort to keep Spaulding from going bankrupt, and I would like you on my side.
Well, I'm flattered, sir, but I have no business sense.
Well, I can see you're a scholar, but you do own a large block of Spaulding stock, and with that goes a certain responsibility, an obligation.
I see, and you think that Spaulding is in the wrong hands?
Yes, and that's partly my fault. And Alan's, of course. He allowed his daughter to take over as president. I gave my daughter my block of stocks. But I'm hoping to convince Alan that we were both in error. You see, if we'd had a son, either one of us of a proper age, who could have been trained up to take over the company, it would have been different. But as it is, I'm afraid that Amanda has got to go as the president of Spaulding.
All ships in the area are standing by, searching for survivors. 3 men from the Spaulding rigs have been picked up so far, 2 of them badly burned. No names of the men missing are available at this time, pending notification of next of kin. We repeat, all ships in the area are standing by, searching for survivors. 3 men from the Spaulding rigs have been picked up so far, 2 of them badly burned. No names of the men missing are available at this time, pending notification of next of kin. All ships in the area are standing by, searching for survivors. 3 men from the Spaulding rigs have been picked up so far, 2 of them badly.
We got here as soon as we could. We were lucky to get through it all. Are you still in radio contact with any of the rigs?
No, we lost all contact over an hour ago.
What about the helicopters?
We lost one already. Trying to land on number 5. The seas are just too rough.
God, I'm sorry, Tom.
Yeah. The pilot was a good man.
What about these women?
Weighing canoes. Let them in. It's gonna be a rough night.
Pardon? Yes? Habla usted inglés? Yes, a bit. You have a man out on one of those rigs?
Yes. And I pray to God that he's still alive. Santa María, Madre de Dios, Ave María, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén. Ave María, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén. Ave María, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén.
Nice time getting everything all arranged for Justin's birthday party with Katie and Eve and where's Mom?
She went upstairs, and this sounds like the best idea I've heard all night.
We interrupt this program to bring you a late news bulletin. The oil rigs of Spaulding Enterprises were hit by a force 10 gale off the southeastern coast of Spain late last night. Several of the rigs were evacuated in time, but one of the rigs could not be reached by helicopter, and the seas were too heavy for any boat to rescue the drilling crews stranded on board. Out of the 70 men on the rig, only 3 men are accounted for at this time. 2 of them severely burned by a fire that swept the rig when a helicopter crashed trying to rescue them. Stay tuned to this channel for further news as it develops.
Oh, Tony, you know, I think Amanda and Mark are both out there supervising the Spaulding drilling sites.
Over 60 men lost. I wonder if Mr. Chamberlain knows about this.
Tony, no, you can't call him.
No, I can't call him. Ma said he went out to Mr. McCord's to talk to him. I gotta go out there and tell him.
Yeah. Wait, Tony, I'll go with you.
Hey, wait, you know, Mark and Amanda are out there. You think that...
I don't know. Like they said, there's 60 men lost. Let's go.
I'm glad you changed your mind about the brandy. This is private stock. I hope you enjoy.
Oh, I'm sure I shall.
Well, what do you think?
Excellent, really excellent.
Well, I'm glad. Now, Mr. Chamberlain.
Henry.
Yes, Henry. What is it you intend to do with my stock?
I would like to vote your proxy at the next board meeting, which I intend to call immediately.
That means you're not going to wait for Miss Spaulding or Mr. Evans to return from Spain.
No. I think in a situation like this, the quicker we work, the better. Oh, incidentally, I'm going to take back my block of stock from my daughter, Vanessa.
You really think that Lewis Oil can bring Spaulding Enterprises down with it?
Easily could. It's possible. Unless, of course, we can cut our losses. There's one thing that bothers me.
What's that, sir?
It's Mark Evans. Now, he was urging us to form this partnership with Lewis Oil. It's almost as though that young man, for some reason or other, was trying to bring about the destruction of Spaulding Enterprises.
What makes you say that?
Well, he knew about the Spanish oil leases. He had full access to the books of Lewis Oil.
Do you think the books of Lewis Oil have been doctored?
It's possible. Anything's possible. I'm going to make it my business to have Mr. Evans quietly investigated.
Hey, you're soaked clear through.
So are you.
I know. One of the men offered you a sweater.
Thank him for me.
I will.
How long do you think we've been waiting?
About an hour.
Seems like a lifetime.
I know. You want some more coffee?
No. Thanks.
That's all they've got.
It's all right.
Hey. You're shivering.
Nervous, I guess.
Oh, I wish we had some brandy.
Me too. Have they heard anything from the helicopters yet?
No, we'll be hearing shortly.
What is it, Mark? What's wrong?
One of the helicopters crashed trying to evacuate the last rig. We lost the pilot, and the crash set fire to the rig.
Oh, my God.
Sure you don't mind my getting you up at this hour of the night?
Oh, no. Don't be silly. You told me you'd probably be late. Sit down.
Well, sorry. It took me longer than I expected out of the McCord place.
Did you run into Nola?
No, she must have been upstairs with the baby.
The child always surprises me. One minute her mind is full of movie mystery plots and love stories, and the next minute she's taking care of the baby like it's the only thing she ever wanted to do.
You've really forgiven her, haven't you?
What for?
Oh, you know, the baby and...
Oh, you mean for not getting married?
No, sort of.
Well, I just couldn't stand by and watch her trap somebody into marrying her just because she was pregnant.
Bea, you're remarkable. I mean, no, telling Kelly the truth about the baby.
Well, I always figured if I wasn't hard on my children, who was going to help them shape up?
Yeah. I probably should have been hard on Vanessa.
Oh, well, everybody makes mistakes. I think this is ready now. Well, let me see. You take this with 2 sugars and a little milk, right?
Mm-hmm. You always get it right.
Nobody who runs a boarding house that's worth their salt gets it wrong.
I'm sorry to disturb you, Mr. McCord.
Yes, what is it, Mrs. Renfield?
Tony Reardon and his sister Maureen are here to see you.
Then show them in.
Do you think it wise their being here?
Well, I like them both, although I don't know Nola's sister all that well.
You know what I'm talking about. With our guest on the 3rd floor.
Will you just let me worry about that, will you? And show them in.
As you wish.
Mr. McCord, how you doing?
Anthony, it's good to see you. Where's your sister?
She went upstairs to see Nola. I thought I'd find Henry Chamberlain out here.
Well, you just missed him. If you came directly from your house, he said he was on his way back to see your mother.
Yeah, I guess I better get back there.
Anthony, is there something wrong?
Yeah, there is. You know the Spaulding oil rigs off the coast of Spain?
Yes, I know about them.
They had a bad storm out there last night. They lost 60 men off one of the rigs. We only got one boat in the water. We found 2 men, but both of them were dead.
You gotta get out of some of these wet clothes.
No, Amanda, I've got to go back out there.
I don't want to lose you, too.
Amanda, this is something I've got to do. You've got to understand.
I understand. Your hands are bleeding.
Well, that's not much of a price to pay, is it, for 60 men lost? I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
You're out there doing something. I'm sitting here waiting.
I'm sorry. I told you I would stay with you.
Sorry.
Do you realize how beautiful you are to me right now?
I'm a mess.
Yeah, you are. You're one beautiful mess.
I'm trying so hard to be strong like those women out there, but...
Amanda, we've got to try to reach those men.
I know that.
I've got to go.
Mark! You come back to me, please.
Nothing in the world could keep me from coming back to you. Don't you realize that by now?
This has been the award-winning Guiding Light. Rations provided by Lily Rubin Salon South Southwest, Gloria Vanderbilt for Murjani International, and Barney's. Be sure to be with us Monday for another full hour of Guiding Light.